So the idea is more to move on to the type of questions or the type of actions that we can try to address individually. The panel is going to be made by Zhao, which we know
Hello.
from previous events.
Yeah.
That was a
Such a
surprise today.
coincidence.
HELLY, which we just met, and we have HA online. I think we had a brief discussion and we talked about some of the things we're going to be presenting. It's going to be a very well-rounded roundtable because I think there's several different perspectives. For instance, if we look at Ha, she's GreenHub, so that's project-oriented. We look at Zhao, and I'm saying your name right? Is it?
Zhao Dao.
Okay. And we're talking about the Climate Fresk, the app, and the end concept with HELLY and all the different sustainability projects that you had. I'm going to start just with a few questions. Let me see which one I had first. So basically, I think the first one is for you online, huh? Can you share a little bit in terms of the eco-friendly choices in your everyday life? Ha, can you hear me? Hello, Ha? Can you hear?
us?
Hello.
Yes, now we can hear you. We were just talking, and the question was just for you. In terms of your eco-friendly everyday choices, can you share a little bit with us, also based also on the knowledge that you have collected in your reports and the knowledge that you showed through your project? Okay. Huh? Yes?
Can you hear us?
Whilst we try to get it. HELLY, can I? Okay, yes. So from your perspective, you have experience in several different sustainability projects. You've been doing this for some time, different projects, different ways of looking at the same concepts. Would you like to share your views with us?
Okay. Hi, everyone. So just make sure that this is out loud. And thank you, John. Thank you, Visera. Thank you, Dao, for being here. And thank you, everyone. And today, okay, actually, I don't have much time. And I don't think that we have so much time. So I try to summarize everything I'm going to share now. People nowadays talking about environment and sustainability very well. Because I remember when I met Hao like 8 years ago when Visera just, just started in Vietnam. And still remember the article that Hao asked me, like, why in HELLY, why you do the end concept, and what is that? Until now, it's still the question a lot of people asking me. For me, like 10 years ago or 8 years ago, it's about, most of the time, people asking me, HELLY, you're a dreamer, right? Because what you're doing is like a dream. Like, why you try to telling the story through the plant? Because 8 years ago, the first concept I'm making, like trying to sell the plant with the story. Because at that time, for me, the hardest thing that the connection is mixing from people, from human, is the missing connection between human and nature. And for me, I'm very young, like 20. And I think about, okay, because I'm young, I'm 20, which is not, I cannot do anything in the future. And until now, it became the concept, like the in concept, which is mean like telling the story through the plant. Because I try to provide the concept of how to put the nature in the house. Imagination, like 10 years ago, not much people thinking about when you invest the interior design, right? Interior and furniture, people thinking about you have to build a house with many rooms. But in the room, the space really matter on how behavior, your routine, and your habit. But I was just thinking about what if, not the table, not the chair, what if people put some plants and get into awareness on how to take care of the plant. And imagine if you have the data from yourself, not from the world. The whole world inside you gonna change. And today, I mean, like my business is still in the scale, small scale, but I have the joy and happiness during time when on the process of making from my business, and also how I see the change from our audience, consumers, because I feel like when we talk about sustainability, when we talk about environment, it's like something very hard to have a radical answer for one question. Imagine about when we mentioned about environment. Until now, we continue a lot of conference, right? From the government, from advocacy, from business, from organization. We have a lot of number, but why we still living under fear? Just like the section that Kelly, Chị Anh, and Tâm talking about, like everything we have number, but why we have a confusing, right? Because the confusion is come from the lack of the knowledge, the lack of the spiritual fundamental. And that is the big deal. Imagine 2050, we have everything, innovate, technology, everything we can do. Look back to the history, what we imagine now it's become reality. But why humans still facing a fear of what not know, what I can do in the future? Because I feel a big lack of human life is about the lack of human existence. And back to what am I doing now? What am I doing now is very small, that just observe each person's life. And then sometimes I just come to your room and I just give you a blend. I'm not showing up like a lot of information for you because the data have to come from you, not from me. Because your experience is not my experience. It's different, just like how linguistic and how the history of languages happen. Like the history of languages has happened from symbol, something like abstract. But now human life, we start to get knowledge, to know how to transform information to knowledge. First, the information is come from, you have a punch of information, but it's messed up. Like now we have social media, we have Google, we have AI, but why people still confusing in front of information? Because it's the mess. But then we have to go to school, we have to university, we have to go outside of the world, and then it became a knowledge. But the truth still messed up. It's still messed up. Why? That's the reason why if we wait for a moment and observe the why of what. The why of what is mean you not separate why is why and what is what. The why of what, that's when the time you stop for a moment and you wonder again, what is the why of why and what is the why of what. Sorry guys, a little bit abstract. But that's the moment it became a wisdom. And sorry guys, a little bit long now, but I want to confirm something that if I'm here talking about what you can search Google right now, how to live less plastic, how to live more sustainable, is boring. I don't want to be like here talking about the same thing that Google can give you information. I just come here and talking about the little moment I observe the life. And a little moment I just wonder what I think. And I always like to say to my friends all the time when people ask, Helly, what are you thinking? And I always have the same answer to everyone. I'm thinking about what I am thinking. Because life is not about the answer. Life is about the right question that lead you to the new wonder. And all the wonder will lead you to the good question again. Yeah.
Thank you, Helly. I think that's a very interesting point in the sense of looking at sustainability from the people perspective, because even though you said you look at it from the abstract position, I really don't think so, because you're more looking at the long-term answer to a problem, and that aligns completely with sustainability. Even though, yes, we might look at differently, especially I look at numbers, you look at the other part. But at the end of the day, it's like we're still looking at how to find a long-term. I think I thought it was interesting the way you did it. Zhao, your project, Climate Fresk, how does it align? Big shoes to fill now.
First of all, it's going to be very hard to top that. So thank you,
Exactly.
Helly, for your output. I would like to bounce back with your question about practical things. And I think what is expected from an answer for practical things is like maybe reduce the meat, stop going, taking the flight. But I would like to agree with HELLY that it's more about the mindset. So I think when you take, I would like to take a fair example. It's like you are in a very big company from Europe and you want to apply it to Vietnam, and you have such a beautiful sustainability roadmap. But if on the land, the people and the employee don't incarnate your, let's say, sustainable development, it will feel like some kind of burden. So what I will recommend all the time is more like to think of it selfishly, and all the action that you do that makes you mental well-being, something that makes you at peace, everything that brings you joy, so I'm quoting Marie Kondo, is worth doing. So it doesn't really matter to me that you want to reduce the meat or you want to make some kind of carbon auditing. It's more about if you feel better after doing this. And from there, you're going to inspire people, and it will help the people to have this snowball effect. So think first on the mindset before thinking about the actions.
Thank you. That actually puts the same tone on the same feeling that HELLY was saying. And I'm happy we're moving away from that Google search kind of like vibe, because you're talking about another concept of people, which is peace, mindsets. If you want to drive real change, you talk knowledge, you talk mindsets, you talk about being aware and in one. Can you hear us now? Yes.
Hello,
Yes.
yeah, thank you very much. Can you hear me well?
Yes, now we can. So your view on that now. Tell us a little bit about GreenHub and your perspective on kind of like the actions that we can take. You have a lot of data in this one, I know.
Yes, thank you very much for having me today. So I would like to introduce a little bit about GreenHub and our work. GreenHub is science and technology organization. We established in 2016, and we work non-profit. And our mission is to connect the resources to promote the green practices and sustainable production in terms of two programs, marine debris and plastic pollution, as well as sustainable agriculture. And how do we do it? We do survey and provide plastic pollution marine debris data set about the plastic waste situation in Vietnam. And based on the survey, we work with government and relevant stakeholders like researchers or local authority, private sectors, private businesses like big FDI companies or green lifestyle company. And we co-design and co-implement the plastic waste reduction models or initiative and practices in a certain site across Vietnam, and the model will be replicated if it's proved that it succeeds in those areas. So like we create a system with sustainability approach and organize training courses and communication campaign to raise people awareness about the situation in Vietnam, and then how they can do it, small action every day, and encourage them to follow the guideline of the new system. So we have organize several creative campaign like Plastic 19 Challenge, and we make a song about encourage people to reduce, reuse, recycle plastic waste, and so on, something similar like that. And do some photo contest about plastic waste situation as well, and they do the podcast and poster about environment and sustainability lifestyle promotion, and it is some of what we are currently doing now.
Okay, thank you very much. Can I ask you one thing? How popular was the song? You said you guys wrote a song, right? How popular was the song?
you know the Vietnamese song very famous. Mỗi ngày tôi chọn một niềm vui. Every day I choose a joy, and it's now published in GreenHub site. It's a co-joy program between UNESCO, GreenHub, and agency that lots of famous singer. Lot of famous singer join the song, and we promote it everywhere in the conference and in all the site across our site, project site across Vietnam. You can look it on the YouTube, our GreenHub and UNESCO YouTube page, and type the mỗi ngày tôi một niềm vui Plastic 19 Challenge.
Okay.
And it's a really catchy song.
All right. Thank you. For the three of you, basically, you tried different activities, you tried different, you have different processes to address stuff. Hi, you were talking about different actions that you had. Helly, you had tried also with different projects, and this one with the plants different. Can I ask you two questions in one? Basically, what were the biggest challenges that you found? And also, what were the biggest takeaways that you were able to get from some of those activities? Right? So what's hard and what was most rewarding? Except the song, Ha. No more talking about the song.
Ladies first.
No, you can go first. Okay. So first, what's the challenging, right?
Challenges,
And then what I get from that.
Yeah. You can give, for instance, an example of a challenging.
I feel challenging now. I have to sit like this. For me, because I start this. Okay, again. My first project that I'm working on 8 years ago is the in concept, which is we selling the plant, right? We also give the service that how you can design the plant inside the house, and also nurture a little bit from the imagination that you sit inside your mind grow. And then lately, 2018, I started with the second business called Refill Station, because just like from beginning, you guys mentioned about Vietnam is one of the top 5 that threw the plastic to the ocean. So that's the reason why I just think about like, okay, again, I'm small, the scale is small. So what can I do? I try to provide the concept that the first zero waste in Vietnam, first zero waste store in Vietnam, that people can bring your own container and review everything you need at home. From the in-house, I try to input the way that how to encourage the local vendor that try to reduce the logistic that you have to bring something else from the other side to Vietnam to less carbon emission. And then the output from the zero waste is from that people can know, not just come to refill and feel satisfied that, oh, finally I live green lifestyle now, but also to know that there is many fascinating local stuff in Vietnam. And lately, 2020, I work with the role that head of communication of some federation, which is have 2 programs. One program we try to plant a tree across Vietnam, and the other program we try to build a resilient housing for poor area with a flooding area. So back then, the first challenging, I make a combination of 2016, 18, and 20. I think the biggest challenges is not much people have a real understand a definition about what is sustainability. That's the first challenging. Because in the past, there's the quote that if you not understand what you're doing, it's very hard for you to see the possibility, even how many ability that you have. So that is the challenging. The challenging that, the art of communication. If you don't get that industry from you, I don't get the industry from Dow, and then I don't know the understander from her. It's very hard to you to negotiate what next. Because in different background industry, it's very hard for you to deliver a good output, right? So if you don't get faster to the output, the product, how far that you can estimate the outcome of that? which we call the between of output and outcome is the impact. And then now human, we very proud that we have everything in the world, but why is there a little bit moment that's so slow that people in the world still have a lack of knowledge or lack of definition about what is sustainability, what is sustainable development, what is it environment, what is ecosystem. And back then, I think, and I give a trust on one thing, nature. I always only have one master, nature. Why? Because in Vietnam, when we mention about nature, we think about plants, we think about leaf, we think about root, we think about land. But also, at the same time, there's one nature too, the inside of us. And how scientists always try to give you the number of the universe, the cosmos. But why don't we just stop for a little bit, look at inside the brain, how it works, how the neuron and how the physical, how the body is work, and how your spiritual is evolved. And the more that you come in, the more that you evolve the knowledge, what you think about the universal outside. So the challenging is the definition. And if you can bring people to the same page, same language, same universe, that's the fast way that you find a way in the future to evolve the possibility. And that is also give me through the challenging. Yeah.
Makes sense. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so this is a question for me, so I will talk a bit about my past experience. I think one highlights, one takeaway from me will be a scale up. Scale up simply because when my main activity is a workshop for climate awareness, climate education. So I go to companies and I do some kind of team building with the participants, from the employees, and everything when it comes about to climate awareness. We take a nice picture, we communicate on the event, and that's it. But afterwards, when we talk okay, let's talk about sustainability roadmap, when we're talking about execution, when things are getting hard to implement, to have everyone on board, this is where it's very challenging for people to go to the next step. So I think it lies on another challenging point, which is, I think, the design. So we talk a lot about carbon credits. We always have this viewpoint on accounting. We are going to have free market. We're going to make sure that you gain some money out of the carbon credits. But when you think from a design point of view, I'm going to throw away from e-commerce, for example. By design, is going to make you consume more. You're going to have the singles days. You're going to have your pet day. You're going to have the grandmother's days. And each time they're going to throw at you so many promotion that in the end you feel like, hey, I'm going to have a great bargain, so I'm going to buy it. And I'm the first going to see, oh my God, this is a new AirPods. I want to have it. And because of that, at the root cause, as long as we have a design that is not made for sobriety, when you have a design where you want to sell more things and you want to, make sure that you get the latest iPhone, we won't be even at the starting line. So that will be my two takeaways. It's more like the scale up. When things are tough, it's hard to go further, and also by design, because the root cause is you can't solve at the core if the design is make you consume more.
We were talking about from the activities and the experience that you had. What are the biggest challenges in implementing some of these policies, or even the training sessions you were talking about, or workshops, and also the biggest victories, the biggest takeaways you had from those?
I think one of the biggest challenges is the awareness of the people that we work with. Everyone knows that polluting plastic waste situation in Vietnam is a big problem. But the thing is, they think that it's not. First of all, it's not one of their business. It's not their business. The second is they try to do it, but they don't have a system. Everyone try to say I sorting the waste in my household, but when I bring the waste that I already sorted to the waste picker, the waste picker just dump everything in one truck. So what is the point of sorting the waste? So it is a lack of the infrastructure. And the third thing is sometimes they know they have to change, and they have some misconception about using the replacing material. They said that if you want us to stop using the single-use plastic, you have to provide us with alternatives. But the thing here is, it's not about the alternative or not. It's about the mindset, the awareness. Like, do you really need to use that or not? If not, stop using it, or you not need to use a single-use plastic straw. You don't need to use the plastic waste if you already have you another material. I think it's kind of one of the challenges when we work with the community. And about the about the policy as well. Actually, Vietnam has a lot of policy about the environment, and one of the policy just released EPR, extended extended producer responsibility. It means that who pollute has to pay for the money. So it's dependent a lot upon the big companies that import plastic. And we build a lot of things for the policy, but it's still very difficult to go through from the top to the local community. It's really need a long procedure with the combination of all the stakeholders to attend. It's not about the government work, it's also about the business work, about the institute researchers, and it's not a lot of work. So how we harmonize all the stakeholders toward one goal about the sustainability is a challenge. So communication is very important of all the work that we have done. And one of the big victory we have do is like in 2020, the government really delay the issue of the EPR policy, and we have cooperate with different international organization and research and institute to write a petition letter to the government, said that we should not delay the issue of the policy. And after the letter, the policy has been released publicly, and now is on working, and everyone try to work out to how to implement the policy. And it have to roll out a lot of activity after that, like how the polluter will pay for their product, and how we will have an environment budget, and how the budget will be help to to strengthen the system, the collecting system and the recycling system, and other infrastructure. So it's one of our achievements so far. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we're almost on time. I'm going to ask you one thing. This one is off script. One, since our main theme is action and calling to action on driving sustainability, one advice, one short action that could be achieved individually. If you had to give one piece of advice for an individual action, what would you give that would drive sustainability now, individually?
Subscribe to Song Foundation, for example. No, ladies first. So actually, it's a mimic, so I can have some time to think. So.
Oh my God.
You guys, I'm gonna, for instance,
How about if you have any, from you?
I'll give
I'm
you,
waiting
I'll
from
give
you.
I'll give you the ground. For instance, you talked about several key points that I believe were very interesting. The part about knowledge, the part about communication.
Yeah.
We want to go off the norm, right? If we had to
norm.
make one suggestion, if we had to give one piece of advice, what would it
Okay.
give individually? Something to drives more towards the people, drives more towards the planet. What would you say? I can give you
I
mine.
feel challenging again.
I can give you mine. I would say my own advice is something that is very dear to me, which is the part about knowledge. If there's no knowledge, and that's my call to action, there's no knowledge, there's no real need to do anything else because I can only do as much, right? I can only do what I know. So my first action would be knowledge, awareness, engagement. Done.
Okay, I get
Your
your
turn now.
formula now. Okay. Well, I wish before I come here, I have a model, but I don't have something to write. So I try to summarize what I'm gonna tell. I always like the quote that if not now, then when? If not you, then who? So first question, why now? I think when we mention it about sustainable, it's not just come like 10 years recently. It's come from when human existence happened. And sometimes we have human crisis, existential crisis a little bit. To again and again and again, we ask same question like Plato and Aristotle asked, who are we and why are we here? Imagine here I'm 30, you maybe older than 30 and then 32 and then here, I don't care. But remember that when we were 10, we asking about us about like who we are. We may be just thinking about the dream career that we want to, right? But when you have more experience, 20, you change the question, you change the answer of the question that you used to ask yourself. And imagine 30, 40, 50, 60, the same. So for me, it's not about the past, because it's past. It's not about the future, because it's not yet come. It's about now. And I feel like the more conference that I attend, I think number is just something that just give you a little bit about what happened with the outer world. But it's something that we have a little bit concern about our inner world. That turned out the Kelly mentioned that when she talked with the youth, and even, Kelly and I work a lot through many campaigns and projects. Even we understand the advocacy, we understand that the challenges from government, the organization, the business, and the individual, even the kid. There's the confusing, it's not from the outer world. The confusion is come from the lack of fundamental from the inside. So, if I have advice now, I think it's not about the database. We have a mixing of data moment. Remember when was the last time you have a cup on your hand and you know that you're drinking the water? I remember when I started the campaign for 3 months, I was like just 2 hours sleep. And then I just drink like, because the doctor say I have to drink the water. So I was like, and then I just work. And I feel if there's the missing piece in my life, it's about moment. It's not about database. Because I think human now, we have enough intellectual to solve everything we have from here. But I feel the next generation, because I'm the end of millennial, I feel so grateful and so blessed that I used to have the time without digital. Because those times, I remember that I always observed the world with wonder, very beautiful way. Without less information a little bit, without less judgment a little bit, without less opinion a little bit. So when I answer about my human existence, I have more chance to think about, okay, I can be queen thinker and dreamer. okay, I can do something that I appreciate everyone were. And sorry, 1 minute left. So at the end of the day, who are you? Who we are? 10 years ago, people well know as I am a model. But I am so proud today to say I am a model of myself. But now the community, what is the real community? We have to talk about what's the model in the future, 2050. What's the model that we, not I, thinking about? So I hope that we here today a chance to collect the data moment, not the database. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I have 10 seconds, so I would like to be very practical. I would recommend to change your TikTok algorithm. How many people are using TikTok? More than that. What are you saying? So just instead of putting cat memes on the TikTok, maybe you should put more climate change, climate education, and that way it will help you have more content about climate change and to be more aware about climate change in Vietnam. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ha, do you want to say your last piece of advice?
So I hear very well. For me, if I can say, like, I'm not the one in the stand out in my office for living green or living sustainably. I am anyone, like anyone now. I'm just trying change a little bit every day towards the green living lifestyle. How because you live in in complex social network system, and it's really difficult for everyone to change everything at once. The first thing is just big small step, but do it consistently and do it every day. And the second is mindful, aware of what product you use, what activities you do, and even just what you sell every day. If I use a plastic or if I use a product, I will remind myself that I am using it, and how can I not use this next time, or how can I change that behavior, and validate it. Like I am change every day. And the second is you should build your own system. Like if you know that you love drinking with Starbucks, you can bring your own cup with you for your convenience, because everyone do it because of the convenience. So it's for me. I still on the journey, and with my advice is just like mindful every step you do and do it every day. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ham. Thank you very much, everybody. I would just like to wrap it up. I don't think we have time for Q&A, right? I went over my time. I apologize. Just
Thank you.
I think in terms of key points, what I liked was we went far beyond what sustainability means just from the planet perspective. I like the fact that we touch a lot of the people perspective as well, which is sometimes something that we tend to not look as deeply as we did today. Thank you very much. Apologies for going over time. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.